Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Unfriendly podcast. Today we are back with Aman Verma, Krish and I being the constant like always. And today's topic is arguably the greatest IPL team, which is CSK. Very controversial, has always been controversial, and they're still in talks because of they have forced or maybe not forced a new rule, which is they have brought back a new rule, which is like the uncapped player rule, just for Dhoni to stay in their team. So we'll start with Krish. We just want to speak about their retention policies. And Krish, what are your views about it? Are they going to have any trouble related in relation to their retentions this year?
No, I don't think. See, they did not have a, let's say, pace bowling unit present anyway. Apart from Pathirana, the Indian guys, they were either injured or they were not up to their mark last season, especially. So, Deepak Chahar has been constantly injured. Simran also had injury troubles. So, Shardul was not in a great shape, to be very honest. He was also lacking that consistency. So, it's a straight card retention for CSK. Dhoni being the new uncapped player, he comes in. Rituraj is your main pick, who is obviously your captain now. Jadeja for sure because he is your second in command. Should have been a main guy in charge, but after the disastrous season, obviously now he is the second in command. Uh, Pathirana, you are always going to retain Pathirana no matter what, because if you release him, he is going to get a lot of money. So
Absolutely.
those are the three picks, and I'll still go with Devon Conway because last year he was injured for sure, but before that, his partnership with Rituraj in the opening, that was
We'll
something
come to
special.
your top three picks. We'll come to your top three picks. But before that, we just want to know your views about will they? So you mean to say they won't have much trouble in retentions
Yeah, that's
because
what.
their players have not been that great
See,
in the past.
the only trouble they could have is probably Daryl Mitchell because he is a valuable player. Mitchell Sander has been with CSK, I mean, whenever he plays. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, those are the probably only troubles they are going to have. Otherwise, it's a clean slate for me.
right. Aman, you?
I think very much so. Like if you see now what they are actually facing, they are actually having an issue with the bowlers, right? They're conceding a lot of runs. In the past, like if you see the stats of last 2 3 years, you'll find out they're actually conceding a lot of more than 200 runs, mostly, right? So this is the pack where they need to sort it out. And like for now, how MI is for Bumrah is for MI, same as Pathirana is for CSK at least for now, right?
Right.
So they're
No,
surely going to back.
nowhere close.
No,
Bumrah and
exactly not.
Pathirana, there is no comparison. Come on.
I'm talking about the attributes which they actually possess, right? Like
No,
they,
not at all. There is no way you can compare the two. Just see, it's simple. Bumrah is the
Yeah.
elephant, and now you have Pathirana, who is a baby elephant. Maybe in future he could be there. He is nowhere close. I mean, the impact
exactly.
Bumrah has in MI, no one ever has that for a franchisee. Even Virat Kohli does not have the same impact at RCB that Bumrah has in MI. I am not an MI fan, but
Could
I
be.
mean, look
You're
at
right.
his numbers
But
last year. Uh, Pathirana is nowhere close. Yeah, yeah, fine. I mean, you want to get a slinger, fine, but he is nowhere near the picture.
Aman, do you have any counter to it, or you're just
Uh,
agreeing to his point?
I think yes, I agree. But still, I'm talking about in future what is going to happen. I'm not just saying that what Bumrah is now. Absolutely, is surely that Pathirana is nowhere right now, but he will be in future. This is what I meant, right?
Okay.
Like
Right.
this someone needs to grow up, right? Someone needs to take a charge. And for Pathirana, see what I believe CSK's future is like Pathirana's future is in the CSK, and whatever he will learn here, not any other franchises. This is what I mean. Yeah.
So, what are your views? Are CSK going to have trouble in retentions? What is going to be the thought process? Are you saying that Patirana is sure of retention? He's going to be retained, and
Yeah.
we all can agree that Ruturaj will be retained. But apart from them, who is going to fit in what cycle? We'll discuss later. But are they going to have an easy retention, or they are going to suffer like Mumbai or, for example, KKR, SRH?
Yeah, I think if you see now, exactly like they have a straightforward retentions in a lot of ways. here and there, a lot of changes happen, and we know that what changes happen, right? The uncapped rule came and every sort of things. But at
Not came,
least
it
for
was
now,
forced.
yeah, at least for now, their things are actually calm for them. Calm as in
Yeah.
they know whom to pick and whom to not. At least for now. I think I just slightly disagree with Krish about when he said about how they're going to pick up David Conway or not. Like they, is well, I believe they're not going to pick any foreign players. This is what I believe right now.
You both didn't mention Shivam Dubey actually.
Yeah,
So you think that he is going to be released by
I, I
CSK?
I still think he is going to be released and probably get. I mean, he will be back with RTM because that's the only way possible. Otherwise, I don't see the value paying him 14 crore because
So
he
what
is
do you
still not
think,
an
Krish?
all-rounder.
What will be his value on the auction table for how much he'll go?
Maximum, I mean, any franchise should maximum pay 8 crore, not more than that. And because you cannot have that, it is not happening.
I think
it's a
I
big
think
option.
I think he'll
Yeah,
surely go for more than 8 crores. Seeing that what kind of a hitter he has become. So because of the impact rule, I think his
Yeah,
all-rounder role has decreased. But if
he is
not for
not a
that,
he is not an all-rounder.
yeah, he's not an all-rounder anymore.
Because I
But
mean, you have seen his bowling speed, right? He bowls like a running off spinner than a probably pacer. I mean,
yeah,
people are comparing him to Hardik Pandya. I mean, I don't know for what reason, but he is not anywhere close. Probably he is a good batter, no doubt, but he also had that slump last season, and that will be noticed by everyone.
yeah. Also
Maybe
not
let's say,
included. Not included in India squad for Bangladesh as well.
yeah,
So suddenly he went, maybe because he played too much of cricket, like after T20 he went to Zimbabwe and then he was included in one more squad. But I don't know. So we'll get to know if Gautam Gambhir and Surya are including him for the South Africa series or
yeah.
not. Then we'll know if he's an important player or not. So Aman, what are your views? Do you also think that Dubey is not going to be retained by CSK?
Probably I will. I'm slightly disagree to Krish now because I believe they need to go for Shivam Dubey at least for now. So the scenario which we are seeing right now is more of a all-rounder. Yes, you're right that coming after impact rule, there are a lot of changes happen, especially with the all-rounders.
Dubey was
But
never an
still,
all-rounder for CSK, right? He was at best, I mean, that is where
fine
India
hitter. He's
missed
extremely
him,
good hitter.
probably.
He's a very. I mean, yeah.
But he was
So
never
what?
an
How
all-rounder for
much will you
CSK.
give him? How much will you give him, Aman, if you think that they are going to retain him? How
Hmm.
much are you giving him?
Uh, Slightly around. I believe I'll give him 11 crores because he's having a good
So he's going to be a
prospects.
sixth retention or your third retention?
Third retention. He's going to be my third retention. Not he's not going to RTM. At least I believe now. He's not going to
Okay.
be in the RTM
So
for
you're
sure.
giving him 11 crores and you think,
Yeah.
okay, we'll come to that. We'll come to that. Uh,
So, if that is the case, then you think someone like Pathirana should get 18 crore package?
I want him to give, like I said, it just if I just Preet
he's
Bumrah,
going to
and
get
there's a lot
18
of
crores.
variations to this, but I believe
This
he's
is
a premier.
this is this is pure and simple absurd.
Yeah, it is. Because Patirana is not going to get 18 crores. Rutu will get mostly, like I think so, Rutu will get 18 crores.
Should. Hmm.
And 14 will be given to Patirana if they want to retain him or to Jadeja. So the simple logic will be Rutu, Jadeja, and Patirana is where I think CSK are going to retain. Because if your three retentions are Ruturaj, Patirana, and Shivam Dubey, then are you saying that they are going to release Jadeja or they are going to pay 18 crores for Jadeja? This is your option. This is your two option.
Well, for me, if I say, I really want. Look, I saw how Pathirana did well, right? So it's just
Okay.
a fan calling a lot more
Yeah,
than any sort of
that's
things.
fine. That's
So
fine.
if you see now, like okay, to be honest, I've never been a fan of Jadeja for sure, right? So if
Mhm.
I see how he performed in last few years, then and I'll see how Pathirana is performing right now, I'm going to pick Pathirana and give 18 crore rupees. This is my thought about this.
There is also a question of whether Jadeja should get the highest bracket or maybe the second highest bracket because he is a retired T20 player now, right? He does not play for
Yeah.
India anymore. Now, I mean, whether CSK are going to pay 18 crore or 14 crore for Jadeja, there is an internal discussion they should have. Otherwise, I still feel that there is a value in retaining Jadeja because he is not just your batsman or a bowler. He is that ever present. When he is ever present on every corner of the field. So, I mean, he deserves that. amount for sure.
If in my hands, okay, I will not retain Jadeja as a CSK fan because see, he didn't only have bad IPLs. Okay,
Yeah,
he won it for them in the final match. Okay, he was very bad in the T20 World Cup as well. We all saw it. He's not the hitter anymore. Okay, so why to retain him for 14 crores? Why to retain him for 11 crores? What's the point of it? He's not that player anymore. He is retired from T20 as well. Okay, he has lost his hitting abilities for sure. He has lost his batting abilities in T20 cricket. So I don't think he'll make it to my 11 as well. But neither I'm giving him 18 crores like a
because
fourth player.
there are not many players who see. I get your point that he hasn't been performing well in T20s, but he was also the person who won CSK the title last time they won it, and since then, yes, his form has dipped a little, but with a lot of cricket that he is playing, you never know. I mean, he can be a match winner once again, and you do not need. The only reason why Jadeja goes up and bat higher is because your Dhoni won't and bat higher up. That is the only reason
Yeah.
because your Dhoni cannot, I mean, bat for long duration, and that is the reason you have to send someone like Jadeja up.
So with Jadeja and Dhoni in your team, you are two batters less, right?
He,
So it's like two waste of spots when you're playing in IPL with so many new rules, so many now you're seeing the high scoring matches, etc. So impact players. So now it doesn't make sense to have two players like this in your team, is what I feel. But like coming to Dhoni now, the elephant in the room. What are your views about it? First, this new rule for him. Okay. And second, do you think that he should play 2025? He should play, like, isn't he prolonging? What are your exact views
he
about
should
it?
have retired after 2022. Winning that was absolutely fine. He won it, 20, and he should have retired after 23. Yeah, he should have
2023.
retired
23.
then, not prolong his career because this is the new option, right? They should have planned a better team for the next 3 years. Maybe Ritu is your main, your captain now. Dhoni, see, Dhoni is always be associated with CSK, but it does not need to be a player by doing
Yeah.
it. See, there was a great saying, right? I mean, you live long enough to die as a villain, and that is what
Yeah.
he is doing currently. He is the hero. People have been, let's say, I'll say, people have been fooled in believing that Dhoni is retiring this year, and they have made, and they have went to the stadium, they have gone to the stadium in numbers. Every match has been sold out. Again, he is playing the same Gaga. I mean, people will go Gaga over Dhoni just for what? 2 balls. I mean, he is going to play what? 2 to 4 balls. His knee is not giving him any. I mean, he's not getting any younger. Come on.
Yeah.
And by retaining Dhoni in the playing 11, you are wasting one player, maybe, and that is a great loss for India, I believe. Not for Dhoni, not for CSK. Yeah,
Yeah.
IPL is great because of Dhoni, but there is a time you have to move on. Just move on, please.
I think, well, first the fan says coming from Jamshedpur, where there's a lot of fuss about how always seeing MS Dhoni all the time. So he's my neighbor, so I definitely back him to play in the IPL 2025. Yes, there's a thing which, obviously, looking from outside, I would say, what after Dhoni, right? They have a keeper called MS Dhoni right now, but they're not actually investing in the other keeper. This is
That is
my
their
only issue.
that is their loss,
Avinash to
right?
Aravali is here. Yeah,
They
Aravali is here. But
He is nowhere
yeah,
close to Dhoni. I mean, they should
yeah.
have planned it last year. They did not. They wanted to have Dhoni. Dhoni, chalo, theek hai. I mean, he played here and there, great for fans. But it is more like a gimmick of innings than having someone who is, let's say, you can trust. You cannot trust Dhoni anymore. He is more of a liability than a kind of a person who will take the charge forward. He is not. We have to accept that and move on.
But don't you think, as a fan, I'm asking you, like I'm hoping that in some point of a time you're also the fan of MS Dhoni, where you've seen how his helicopter shots did very
I'm sure he was
make a
not.
lot of people. Yeah. So for now, like you mentioned correctly, absolutely. Like for now, MS Dhoni go and play for 2 balls, but make people happy, right? What I know from Indian perspective, from the cricket perspective, it is wrong. But
It is
what's
not
wrong
wrong.
in
It is not
yeah?
wrong. Let me let me
What's
let
wrong in
me
MS
let
Dhoni
me
playing
put
in
my
IPL
point.
2025 just one season?
see, let me put my point from where I see it. Okay, I see IPL as in product. Like WWE is a product, IPL is also a product. It's not a serious thing. To be very honest, the players also don't take it that seriously. If they lose a final or something, they will not go nuts. They'll get back to their regular thing. They'll come. It's a private organization owned by private companies. Okay, so a private company wants his employee to stay longer. They are paying it out of from their money. Their fans love him. Like Chris said that they came last year because they thought that Dhoni is going to retire. They are going to come in same numbers this year, next year, and for the next 5 to 6 years. It doesn't matter if he's retiring or not. It matters still when we can see him. When Virat will go to his last years and Rohit will go to his last years, I'm sure about Virat, not about Rohit that much. But when Virat will, people will think, oh, this might is last year. They will do it for next 5 6 years as well.
Sure.
Having said that point,
Okay.
BCCI also wants IPL also wants Dhoni to stay. Okay, they
There's a
they
reason.
want Dhoni to stay so desperately that they have changed they have completely brought in a rule which was cancelled only for Dhoni. So they
See,
know if Dhoni is not playing, then their
that is where
product will not work. Right? They
that
get
is where it's
money
a
for
sham, right?
television rights. So in the next television cycle, they might not get that much money if Dhoni is not playing, and it will reduce if Rohit retires and if Virat retires. So like WWE keeps on bringing on John Cena back or doing The Rock back or something like this. Even IPL want these players to stay. It's as simple as that.
Dhoni is
Yep.
currently your Undertaker. I mean, not the Undertaker who is an entertainer. He is more of an Undertaker who is already past his prime way back. I get
Yeah,
your point. It is there is an emotion attached to Dhoni. I mean, whenever he bats, yeah, I definitely. I mean, whenever he hits those sixes, I like him because I mean, even before probably, I mean, when Aman was a kid, Dhoni used to come to Ukra. I was from Asansol, so it is Ukra is close to Asansol, where he used to play tennis ball cricket. So there used to
right.
be a lot of talk about Dhoni. I heard about Dhoni back then. It was 97, 98 or so. So I mean, I have a longer connection than Aman probably. Yeah, he is from the same place, but I know him for a longer time because of
Yeah.
that reason. I have only heard good things about Dhoni, and he has been greatest. There is no doubt. I mean, let's just not talk about it. It's a legacy that you leave. Yeah, it is a private organization, but IPL is still a selection criteria for many of the players. Now, someone like Samir Rizvi, he was not getting a lot of chances because you already have an elephant in the room. You had to make
Yeah.
way. I mean, you are not promoting a second wicket keeper. You did not even think about getting
Sure.
a proper wicket keeper, and you went with. Well, I mean, no offense to that kid, but still the thing is, you could have had a better keeper. You did not have
Yeah.
that.
Right. Why don't we talk
You-
about this when it comes to overseas players? Like, why don't we speak about not wanting Faf du Plessis in the IPL because he might be taking a youngster spot?
Yeah,
You don't need
absolutely,
to have, yeah.
absolutely.
There's a
There is,
maximum criteria on the overseas players, right? There's not a
yeah,
minimum criteria on the overseas players. So why don't we talk about players who have got like David Vaughan? We all know he's way past his prime, but we will never see people saying that David Warner shouldn't play in the IPL because he's taking an Indian's place. Right. So
he
why
is.
about Dhoni?
I think just to complete the sentence, like what Abhishek said, we need to understand. Like obviously, we have 11 players, and there are a lot of players to see, and 10 players they can make a future out of it, right? But these are 2 or 3 players that you have, like Warner, like MS, maybe De Villiers in the past, where people are anticipating it could be their last IPL, right? So this should be something to back on, like something to the a why to create interest if MS Dhoni is not there. We never know that if after MS retires.
IPL is already such a great product that it does not need MS Dhoni anymore. You needed MS Dhoni back then. You do not need MS Dhoni. There are a lot of
Okay.
players who people watch for. SSB Jaiswal, for example, Shubman Gill, people watch IPL for Shubman Gill as well. There are a lot of players. Nitish Kumar Reddy, who I mean, Abhishek. I mean, do you think anyone watched IPL last year because of Dhoni? They wanted to watch SRH, how SRH were batting.
Yeah.
Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma. That was exciting. Not this. Even Punjab Kings made, let's say, some exciting matches. MS Dhoni only did it for 2 to 4 balls. Good, but let's move on.
True.
Uh,
That's
but
that's
like you
also a
mentioned,
good point.
Yeah,
With
no,
with
it's
the impact player, I think they have done it very smartly as well. Like they
They have
know that the
retained the impact player just for Dhoni.
yeah, maybe even
yeah,
that
See,
also.
I mean, otherwise, why would you scrap it from SMAD, Mustaq Ali Trophy, and then retain it
Yeah,
for IPL when you know that the feedback hasn't been great? Your captain,
yeah.
India captain, has spoken against it. I mean, you're arguably the greatest player you had. He also spoken against it. Ricky Ponting
Yeah.
did earlier. David Warner has. Everyone has spoken against it, but you still
You know
wanted to
why they
retain
have
it.
retained it? Why they have retained the impact player rule? Because of the reason you said. Like people want to watch SRH,
Yeah,
right? They wanted to what they it will only happen. The games last year we had, this season we had, will only happen if impact player rule is there. They
yeah,
know that the legends of India are going to retire very soon. Like Gale did, ABD did, everyone did. So people like us who started watching IPL since its inception, our legends are retiring. Now they want to make this tournament a little more interesting because they know that the players will retire. But if they manage to score 250 runs in every match, people will still watch it. They'll be forced to watch it because it's entertainment, right? So
yeah.
maybe that's why they have retained the impact player rule. Okay, so we'll come to our last segment. We'll just speak about the three players we want to retain from CSK and how much we are giving them. So, Krish, we can start with you.
I'll pick four, not three retentions, apart from
Okay.
Dhoni. So my first pick will obviously be Ruturaj. Second will be Devon Conway. Third will be Pathirana, and then the next 18 will be still for Jadeja with Dhoni coming in as uncapped player. Oh, again, yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
man.
I'll go with the first. Obviously, like I said, I just want to give my Patirana a boost. So for my Patirana is going to be the big one, like a first barrier bracket, and then Rituraj Gaikwad, and then Shivam Dube. So this is going to be my three first retentions.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So
So
I
and
think
also MS Dhoni because the fan calling again.
he is
yeah,
coming
Krish.
under MS Dhoni rule. So uncapped and impact player both are MS Dhoni rule right now.
Let's just want to know one more thing from you guys as well. Apart from MS Dhoni, one uncapped player you believe they can actually pick up, like they have a six retentions, and one player like if they need one more uncapped, for
For
example, like
me,
they
for
can
me, it will be Samir Rizvi.
Yeah,
Rizvi.
very
I believe
simple.
Simranjeet Singh is going to be the could be Hungaraker as well, but like I said, the bowling is actually is issue now,
That
so
is
they
why
need
they
some
should not
balls.
they should not retain anyone and go fresh in the auction.
Yeah, but if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be Rizvi for sure. Is what I think. But they won't. They won't go
Yeah.
for so many retentions. They need to build a team because like player like Ajinkya Rahane and everyone, they won't take them back, right? But yeah, my three retentions will be Rutu, Conway 14, and then Patirana 11, or Patirana 14 and Conway 11. Jadeja won't be there. Shivam Dube, I think they will retain, but let's just see. I think they will go for RTM. They won't mind going for RTM, and Dhoni obviously uncapped. Okay, guys, so this was the end of the episode. This is all we had to speak about CSK. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel so we can continue doing this. And stay tuned for our next episode.